Alright, right now I was looking up some of the tip sizes, and I couldn't find out what size tips these are. These are pretty much way smaller than the Posca pen one I got. It's way bigger, and as you can see, got a huge tip of paint on it, and it looks really well. But Posca pens are for everything else, but they're not for shoes, so I wouldn't sit right there and use these much for shoes. I would stick to Jacquard and Angelus paint. I've also got a black one right here, but it don't look nothing like this one. And I would, if I would make any suggestion of what size this is, I would think it's about a 4mm, maybe even a little bit bigger, maybe even close to a 5. And I think that this one would be more of an 8 almost, but it is close to the size of this one. But I do like the fact that it's square and that you can sit right there and put it on there and it'll be flat on the color. So what we're going to do now is put the tops back on, and I'm going to try and figure out, do I want to make it gold or pearl blue? Now which one do I want to make? I think I'm going to go this way. This is also Angelus, this is Angelus pearl blue, but this has also got the same effect from it, and it looks exactly the same as that. So I'm mixing these two together because I think when you mix Jacquard and Angelus paint together, it's stronger than what it should be. And plus, instead of putting like a too thin into it to weaken up the paint a little bit, because you're diluting it so much with a thinner, I would rather put something that's the same color but a little more liquid into it. From like this is airbrush Jacquard, so I think I'm gonna make the blue one, the big one, and I'm just gonna put a few of this in it, a little bit of this. Thinking about getting some more of this kind because I really like these color. I mean, you can see how thick it is. Alright. Grabbed the wrong cap. Alright. Now, I'm going to shake this up. Make sure it's good and shook up while you're doing this, and then put it in there. It's the reason why I want to sit right there and do this stuff is because I want it to be ready for like a, you never know, let's say I get a shoe and it don't look as good as I want it to. So, and I want to sit right there, instead of wasting by using a paintbrush, I use a marker that I've helped fill out myself. And listing on this is a pretty good price for 3 of them, because you try and get the same thing on like Angelus, the brush, the markers are like 2 for like almost $8 to $9, and that's not including shipping and handling, depending on what you get it on. But you can also sit right there and get it off of Amazon, but I don't think it'll be the same price. Alright, right there, when you're trying to do this, you want to try and keep a air bubble in between it, so that when you go to do this, it mixes together. And I mean, if you want to, you could take the cap off and just refill it again. Always and each and every time. But if you want to, you could change what you put into it, but I would say just to sit right there and put the same thing back in it, because you can refill it and do it each and every time. It works out really well. I might end up putting the whole thing of this gold one in it, because I really don't use it as much, but I got gold, the metallic gold. There we go. For Angelus, so I ain't worried about that. But I also got a regular jacquard without being airbrush, but this is mainly airbrush, so I think I'm going to sit right there and use a good bit of that. I like the way the color looks looking at it from that way. Alright, I don't think I want to use the whole thing of this. Maybe half of it will do. I've used it a few times, but I think I want to keep it so I can still sit right there and have some the gold color for it, so I can have it for airbrush ready. Alright, just sit right there and clear some of that off. Now with how thick this stuff is on this thing, I might have to drop a couple of drops of too thin into it. I just eyeball it when I do this. Alright, that should do anyway. Let's just go ahead and put the top back on it. That way it'll have an air bubble still into it while I'm putting the cap on, and just shake it up. Alright, now I got these two new ones, and this is the way the package would have. It would have these three together, this thin one, the medium sized one, and the big one. So I'll grab a piece of paper and I'm gonna see if I can get it to work, and these would be good products to use later on for some shoes. Now I've already went through this one because I was real curious about it being a thin tip. What I was going to do is wait till the paint went out in this one and use it. As you can see, nice, good tip for like if you were doing a shoe. But I'd rather not use a Posca pen on the shoe because there's more chance for the paint to crack, because it's not really made for a leather. It's not a leather-like type of paint. So let's see. Perfect, just like I said last time. Now that we got the cap on it, let's see. Alright, now I done got it fully shaken. I made a few strokes on the paper already, and it started trying to destroy the paper right there. That's pretty quick. So let's go ahead and start with this one and make a few strokes with it. It's kind of like doing a brush. You gotta sit right there. I want to make a few push downs and then go at it. With this type of paint, what you want to do is let it dry and then redo it again each and every time and layer it on, kind of like the same way you would do normally. See, sometimes it takes 4 or 5 coats, and it's not going to work as well on this paper because this paper kind of repels water and liquid a little bit, and that's one of the reasons why it's doing what it does. So took me a while to get this one to work too. You can see a couple of stripes up there and hits, and taking a while to figure out how. The little top is a little harder to pull off. So sit right there, and still you want to sit right there and make sure you press it a few times and it feels like it has a good coat over it, and then there you go. As you can see, it's going along. It's like, whew. I think it worked out really well for these three, and I really like them, and I'm definitely going to use them for shoes. So watch a video that I'm going to eventually have to use these colors. I like them. They're great colors. They're some of my favorites in this Angelus paint. I've also got one of my favorite colors. I think I gotta grab it out of the drawer. And this one I did a long time ago before I started doing this. And this is my Angelus Pearl. I think it's rose red. I really can't read that word right. So I've done it a few times with this one. This is this brand of Angelus paint I really like. I'm not really that big in metallics and stuff like that, but I just for some reason I like these metallic colors, and it's really gotten me into liking them. These are really good colors for Angelus, and someday you might want to sit right there and have a good color on your shoe, and that's what these two provide. A very good color for your shoes, and I like the way they shine. They will work really good with a gloss color finisher. And anyway, let's just sit right there and on with it. Shake it up. Should have made sure I stomped on, pressed this a few times too. I've also, the same way with the that one, you gotta make sure you have it shooken up really good, because all the metallic parts will flake down. That's the same thing with this one. This one comes pretty thick, so you don't have to worry about that as much. This one is about the same. And I've also got a, yes, here it is. Yeah, this is the same thing as this. I didn't mean to get this, but I did, and I realized that these two can go together and make a good color. So I always sit right there and blend the colors together sometimes too. You don't gotta sit right there and just add too thin to it to thin it out, and regardless, it's still gonna look good. I think I've used both of them into it, but using this into shoe has been some of my favorite stuff to do. Filling up these paints and pens, that way I have a secondary instead of having to use a brush all the time. Sometimes you can mess up and you can feel like you mess up your details a little bit, but that don't mean much, because when I paint, I prefer this because I feel like I can put more layers on it. These work just as well, but you also have to get layers on it too. So I got a handful of these. And I'm most likely going to build it up more so I can get more paints and more colors in and have it all sitting up there ready and be all good. That way I can have more than one way that I can sit right there and paint the shoes. And that's what this is all about. So if you like this video, like, hit a thumbs up, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell for all notifications on any video that I put down. And I appreciate y'all all for watching. Thank you.